community.
Let's talk about the habits in your life and the healthy habits that you want to have for 2025. Kelly Summersett hopes to talk about that, especially when it comes to your health and your fitness and the image you have of yourself. So good to see you this morning.
I'm so glad to be back.
You have been on my mind. I told you this when you walked in the studio. You came our way over the course of the last year, and I just thought you had this great passion for what you do and this great personality. And then I followed you on Facebook a little bit, and lo and behold, you sent me this email of this thing you're doing next week. It kicks off on Monday,
right?
But you're primarily for women, is that right?
You know what? I definitely am not going to turn anybody away, but yes, I do primarily work with perfectionist women.
Okay, so what she's asking is you give her the week next week, and she's going to help you learn how to kick your bad habits and kind of bring in some healthy ones. I'll let you take it from here.
Oh, geez, that's a lot. You opened. Yeah. So typically, women do not approach habit change from the right way, and it's nobody's fault. We were just never taught to do it from a healthy perspective.
Okay.
So a lot of times, a typical strategy is like the all or nothing. Right?
Okay.
Where it's like, oh my gosh, I've let myself go. I've got so much to change. I need to change my eating. I need to start working out more. I've dropped my meditation practice in the morning, right? And so perfectionist women, they want to do it all, and they want to do it all perfectly.
Right.
So they'll line it out, they'll plan it all out, they'll get the new gym clothes, they'll get the new gym membership, and they're like, yeah, this is the year I'm going to do it differently. And because they've made it such a big deal and they've overwhelmed their brain, well, what happens? They shut down. And that first day that they don't do it perfectly, because not if life happens, but when life happens, right? They work late, they get sick, their kids get sick, something happens.
Right.
Then it derails them. And then that inner critic voice is like, well, look at you. You don't know how to stick with your healthy habits. You failed again, right? And it's the cycle.
And that comes so quickly that January 10th is what they call National Quit Day.
That's right.
So that's why she's targeted this week. So obviously she can't give away all the things that she'll be discussing next week, but here's what's cool about it. We'll show you in a minute her website information. You go in there and sign up. She'll send you a Zoom link, right? And then every day of the week, you're going to give them a little audio push and an actionable, as you call it.
That's right. Yeah, it's very simple, and it's helping you to unravel from the way that you've probably approached habit change in the past. Because as you know, if you're not sticking to it, or if you're sticking to it but you're white knuckling it and it's hard and you're having to use a lot of control and willpower and discipline, there's just an easier way. And so I help women unravel from that so that they understand what are the tactics they're using now, why they don't work, and helping them to learn these better tactics.
It's probably difficult for you. It would be hard to take what you do every day and try to make it make total sense in a pretty short conversation, which is what we had this morning. But you cannot talk about anything healthy and separate the physical from the mental. Is that right? So you're a big believer in the mind-body connection. So one thing you were sharing with me is that when you're meeting with people next week, encourage them to start small. Don't look at all that you've got to accomplish. Look at a small something.
Right. Every time that we make it a big deal, which is what perfectionists want to do, right? Because they see all of the things that they want to do, and all of the things they want to do commendable, right? But when we're trying to do all of that, it's what shuts our mind down. It's like, there's smoke coming out.
That's when the I can'ts come in.
That's right.
Right. Something else when you were talking about like the perfectionist people and how you tend to think, you phrased it this way. I've got to do this and this and this. Those were, in my mind, demands. All of a sudden, those were obligations, as opposed to the mental thought, this is what I get to do.
That's right. I love it.
Is that right?
It, Julie. Yeah, absolutely. Because that's one of the days is like having compassion with ourselves, right? Because when you think about it, at the end of the day, if we are not wanting to, if we're approaching habit change from I'm ugly, I'm fat, right? When we're approaching it from this negative way, we're we tend to not be doing it for the right reasons anyway. So getting to the bottom of that, having self-compassion, which is building our healthy self-relationship, that's where the sustainable change happens.
The old buddy system, I'm sure, always is going to apply in something like this. So since it is a Zoom, if you're here in the Chattanooga area and your best friend is in South Carolina, can they do it together?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
I totally encourage that.
And then I know when the week is over, you're not wanting people to feel like they're no longer supported by you. If they've loved it and they want to keep in your circle, they can do that.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Right. I have weekly emails that go out that people really enjoy reading and getting tips and inspiration from, and new tools of how they can show up differently in their lives.
Yeah.
I'm typically offering free things a lot of the time. And actually tomorrow, if you're local to Chattanooga, in Soddy Daisy, I'm going to do a healthy hike.
Oh, fun.
Where we're going to walk. If you're familiar with that trail, it's just a real easy trail. We're going to hike out a mile. We're going to do a small workout, hike back, and call it a great day.
I love it.
I'm always offering, free things like my burpees and beer challenge
that
I
did,
right?
met, yeah.
So, that's my jam.
Okay, then let me show you how you can be part of the fun, because she really, you'll follow her on Facebook too maybe, and you'll see that this smile she brings today, she seems to bring it everywhere she goes and believes that without that positive mindset, you can accomplish those healthy habits. So next week is your challenge week, kellysummersett.com, and then you do the Healthy Habit Solution to sign up. She'll send you a Zoom link. You kind of do it in your own way, at your own pace next week.
Yeah.
And see if you can kick those unhealthy habits and bring in some new ones.
That's right. I love it.
Okay, now that the holidays are behind us, the cold weather is finally here. Maybe you're thinking about planning a trip or something to do in the winter